Camille asked us to let you know a little bit about Rick, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I'm here as a representative of all of his teammates and classmates that are in attendance, and thank Mike Moore for doing such a great job of getting us all together here. Bob and Rick are both very close to us. Rick comes from quite a family, the Keefe family. Everybody knew them in the West End, and they were all good athletes. And somebody once said, well, Rick, is he a pretty good athlete? I said, yeah, he's a good athlete. And they said, in what sport? And I kind of looked at him like, are you kidding? All of them. And that's just the way he was. A great competitor, very intense person, and he made all the teammates around him play a whole lot better. His intensity is kind of reflected in a story when he was pitching and gave up a home run. I was the shortstop, and of course, your job is to go in and take care of your friend and reassure him everything's okay. And you all know people who have the look. Well, I was going to do my job and running in for my shortstop position to go encourage Rick, and I got closer to the mound and I looked at him, and he kind of looked at me, and I saw the look. And I proceeded to go a little bit further, and I got 1 foot on the mound, and he looked at me and told me 3 words: don't say anything. So I turned around and tiptoed back to shortstop. But Rick was an intense competitor. He worked really hard. He made all of us work a lot harder, and he was a very valuable teammate, classmate, and we couldn't be prouder of him, and we're very thrilled that he was able to get this award tonight. Thanks to the Emig Foundation.
Good evening. I was asked to say a few words about Bob from his childhood days. I believe there's probably only one person, Mr. Joyce over there, that is from St. Luke's Parish that really knew Bob at that time frame. Bobby and I grew up about a mile from each other. We really didn't know each other until we stepped on the baseball field. There's some pictures back here that'll take you back from the ages of about 11 to 14 years old. That Rick Keefe is in there, Larry Buser's in there, a few other folks. At any rate, Bobby, he was a catcher, I was a pitcher. Bobby was an intense competitor. He knew what everybody was supposed to do. When that ball was hit, his mask flew off. Whether that ball was his or somebody else's, he would go out, he would critique all the other players out on the field. When they came in, if they did the right thing, they got a little pat. But at any rate, Bobby was one hell of a competitor, and I'm going to tell you a little story. This is just recently. I happened to be watching a baseball soccer game. I have twin sons. They were playing out at West Haven School. I'm watching a soccer game with one of my grandkids, watching a baseball game with another. So I'm standing on the hillside here, and I'm looking down, and I keep seeing this ball flying around the field coming from the catcher position. I have no idea who he was, but after a couple of innings, soccer game ended, so I ended up going down to the field, and I watched a couple innings. And after a while, I just grabbed a hold of the chain link fence of the backstop, and I just looked at this kid. He was unbelievable. And all I said to myself was, Bobby. Bobby was an intense baseball player, and it just brought back a lot of memories. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Rick's son, Tim, and Rick has asked me to speak on his behalf. I'm going to go off script right away. As Mr. May has mentioned, the look that my father gave him as his son, and as my sister Maggie can attest to. Still get nightmares. And again, Rick has asked me to speak on his behalf. With heartfelt appreciation, I extend my thanks to the Bob Emig Foundation for this great honor. It is a privilege to gather here tonight with all of you. In some way or other, as an athlete, coach, parent, or fan, you each have played an important role in making a positive impact on athletics along the way. First, I would like to recognize Mike Moore, who nominated me for this award. He put in many hours along with others to make this foundation the tremendous success that it is. Many thanks to you, Mike, for helping make this night possible and for all you've done to support youth athletics. Also, Camille Emig Hill, who pours so much time, energy, and love into the foundation, and many athletes have benefited from her efforts. There are many coaches who mentored me and shared their skills to help me along the way. Two of them are with us tonight, Coach Glenn Schott and Coach Jerry Kaler. I also have a standout student athlete, Stan Elfrink, in attendance. It is well known that no individual is solely responsible for his success. We've all received help in some form of support from others. That certainly holds true for me. While there is no way I can name everyone, although I wish I could, there are some who really stand out for helping me. In attendance tonight, we have my teammates with whom I share many great memories. That cast of characters includes Monkey Paws, Weege, Duck, Luke, Mooner, Buse, Sade, and Turtle. And we have Schutz, Wop, and Duck. We have two ducks. We have Duck 1, we have a Duck 2. And not that I'm bitter or keeping records still after 50 years, but I would also like to mention that the HOF basketball team would probably have advanced to the city championship had it not been for Belleville Township and a guy named Joe Wiley. When Joe was getting introduced this evening, I'm like, why have I heard Joe Wiley? You continue to be my support team now. I have my brothers Pat, Mike, and Bob. And even though my mother and father, Henry and Eda Mae Keefe, are no longer with us, I am positive they are looking down on us with great pride. Mike's wife Judy is also here. I was also fortunate to coach my son and daughter, Tim, Tim's wife Debbie, grandchildren Caroline and Owen are here. My daughter Megan and her boyfriend Michael are with us. And this is when I go off script. I need to go off script a bit because of my mom, Esther. My mom, Esther, Rick's wife. Esther is incredibly humble and never wants any praise. But for the past 44 years, she has been my dad's biggest supporter. Esther and I, I'm going back on script. Esther and I recently got back from a trip out west. We made sure to stop by the baseball field where the movie Field of Dreams was made. As neat as that experience was, I can truly say being here tonight with so many special people is like standing at my very own Field of Dreams. In closing, I want to say that Bob Emig was the one person at our lunch table at HOF who knew exactly what he wanted to do when he graduated. He wanted to be a sports writer. He did just that, and he did it incredibly well, along with being such a great man. I think if Bob were to write about tonight's event, I hope it would go something like this. Last night at the Missouri Athletic Club, we had a great group of coaches and athletes who were all standouts on their respective teams. 4 received awards, but without the support of all the others who were in attendance, they would not have achieved the success they had. Thank you very much.